Hi, my name is Lauren Ternowski. I am an ELA teacher. I teach 9th grade ELA at a high school in New York City, and I've been teaching for 18 years. I have been using the Teaching Lab AI tool in my classroom to help me prepare for Socratic seminars and debates with my students. I find the tool really useful because it helps alleviate a lot of the heavy lifting that goes around planning. So it's been kind of an amazing tool of efficiency that I found really helpful in my lesson planning. If I wanted to teach a Socratic seminar lesson and I wanted to talk about current event or an issue of relevancy for students where there was sort of multiple perspectives that we could explore the issue, I would go to Teaching Lab AI. I would go to my favorites where I've already saved this Socratic seminar prompter tool. Currently, I am teaching grade 9. What is the topic, time period, or essential questions that the students are exploring? So let's say we're doing a unit on the limits of free speech. Do I want a prompt for a debate, a Socratic seminar, or both? Let's say, for my purposes, I wanted to see the options for both, so I would type in both. For you, I create the prompts. Could you please answer a few questions? Help me tailor them to your specific needs, specific perspectives, groups, or regions that you want represented, standards, and exemplar student responses. So for the first question, I don't know if there are specific perspectives necessarily I just want to make sure there's multiple perspectives. So I would just add multiple perspectives. Since I work in New York City, I would say the New York State standards, Common Core standards, since we use those as well. So I guess depending on how I wanted to structure the lesson, do I want it to be more of a debate style or more of a Socratic seminar style, would determine which one of these I would want to utilize. So I would go back and look through them and kind of see what they're offering me, thinking about the prompts that they're providing and the different perspectives that they're offering, as well as the exemplar student responses that could be used to sort of guide the students in their discussions. So it really just comes down to what is the focus for the lesson, which one of these prompts do I think will work best with what I'm ultimately trying to achieve in that lesson or in that unit, and then kind of building the lesson around one of these prompts that I think kind of best suits my needs or goals of the lesson. And then once I've kind of made that determination, I could see if there's anything else that I wanted to do for me. So something that sometimes I like to consider is maybe providing different resources for the students. So let's say I just wanted to go with Socratic seminar prompt number 1 might be the most interesting for the students, thinking about free speech being limited in schools because they're in school, so it's really relevant for them. So now I have some resources that I can use to help support the students when they are kind of formulating their own opinions. I think it's really important for them to be able to see both sides. They might come into this with a really clear vision of how they feel about the issue, and then once they kind of explore both differing perspectives or multiple perspectives on it, they might be able to come to a different realization about the topic that maybe they weren't aware of before. So having different resources for them is useful in that way. So now I have my topic, I have my different perspectives, I have the resources students can use to help prepare. So something else I could ask is provide a rubric to use when assessing students during seminar discussion. So now I have a rubric that the system generates for me that gives me a baseline. I can always make adjustments, but thinking about are these the things I want to be looking for when the students are discussing during the seminar? Maybe there's some adjustments that I can make. Maybe there's some things that I'm like, oh, it's not as important as some of these other skills. And then another thing that I find really useful during these preparation for the Socratic seminar is for them to have some sort of graphic organizer to use. Create a graphic organizer. And again, same thing, like I have the rubric, right? I'm going to make some adjustments depending on my students. Everyone knows their students best and what they need, and depending on what, what assessment criteria I really want to focus on. And then with the graphic organizer, again, same thing, just kind of like look through it, see what they're offering to me, and then make some adjustments again, seeing what's working, what's not. Asking them to identify the different perspectives is really great. I really like that, so I would definitely keep that in there. And then having them formulate their own opinion with reasoning and supporting evidence, which is something we always want them to be able to do. I think with all of these resources and with all of these options, there's enough there to really build a strong lesson around this initial topic. So it's really just dependent on what your goal is with the lesson, as well as what your students need. Do you want more time in your day? Do you want to be more productive? Do you want to be more efficient in your planning? This is the tool for you. Like if you're looking to develop ideas for a Socratic seminar or a debate, like this is a really useful tool to use to help you kind of take away the heavy lifting of having to like find the resources yourself or having to plan develop the rubric yourself. And then you can focus on whatever else, teachers need to do, which is a million things at once.